in 2019, the whole Jussie Smollett thing started to happen. And it was revealed in court testimony the U.S. sent him messages saying that Chicago police didn't believe his account of what happened. Is that accurate?
No, that's not right. That's what Jussie Smollett said.
Oh.
Right. That's what Jussie Smollett said in court, but is any of that true? Here's the thing, I'm so glad that you asked me that question because I've been wanting to correct this.
Let's go.
I've never believed Jussie Smollett.
Me neither.
Okay, so let me tell you. So I'm going to tell you the story just so that people know, right? This is probably going to be the most viral part of your thing, right?
Let's go.
Did I know Jussie Smollett? Yes. I met Jussie Smollett on the set of Empire. Lee Daniels called and asked me to do a cameo, and I met him. And then when I lived in Harlem, some of his friends lived in my building. So I got to know him. We were never best friends or anything like that. So I was living in a hotel because there was one of the HVAC systems in my apartment broke and I had to have the floors redone. It flooded and all the floors buckled, and so we had to move out. So I'm living in a hotel and my phone, so we're in close quarters. And I'm in, my fiance's there and our 2 dogs are there. And so it's like we're living in this one room. And then the phone rings like really early in the morning. And I'm like, and I usually didn't answer. And I look and I saw the name on the phone. It wasn't Jussie Smollett, but it was someone who knew him. And he said, "Hey, Don, Jussie, something, I'm paraphrasing here. Jussie was racially profiled or something. I'm here with him at the hospital." And I was like, "For what? Like, what happened?" And he starts telling me the story. And, he goes through it. And I said, "Is he okay? Is he there?" And I said, whatever, put him on the phone. I said, "Oh, well, man, you take care of yourself. I don't know what's going on." And, and so Tim is next to me and he can hear it because I have the phone on speaker. And I put the phone down and, back on the nightstand. And I looked at Tim and he looked at me and he goes, "Really?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, that smelled bullshit. And I said, "Yeah." It was like, it's 10 degrees outside or whatever it is in Chicago.
Yeah.
And someone in Chicago wearing a MAGA hat, they're going to recognize Jussie Smollett from Empire.
Yeah.
Now, if they had said, all those things, if they had said Don Lemon, that would be a different story because that's when I was getting threats from the MAGA people. They knew who. But the chances of someone who is in MAGA watching Empire and recognizing Jussie Smollett on a 10-degree night in Chicago.
Right. Yeah. For me,
who happened to be carrying a noose. Okay, so I'm just saying, look, and I'm not trying to disparage Jussie, whatever. I wish him well. Seriously, I don't mean this, but I never believed it. And so when people are saying that I'm passing messages to him, nobody believed him. No one believed him. For me to say, "Jussie, the Chicago police don't believe you," was no breaking news. So I'm trying to get an interview with him because he had gone on Good Morning America with Robin Roberts and he did that interview and people were like, "I don't believe him."
Yeah.
And so I worked in Chicago. I had sources in the police department and I asked them, but this is after the police department, they were giving press conferences about him. People in the news were saying, "We don't believe him." The Chicago media was saying the story was fishy and that cops didn't believe him. Mm-hmm. So for me to text him and say, "Hey, Jussie, cops don't believe you. Nobody believes you. If you really think that you are innocent, you want to tell your story, come on my show and tell your story." If you weren't doing that as a journalist, you were not doing your job. So the fact that I'm texting him, asking him to come on my show, I'm doing committing an act of journalism.
Right.
Come on the show. Nobody believes you. Tell your story. So for him in court to say, "I don't want to turn over my phone," because there were messages from Don saying the cops don't believe you. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on now. Now that for the right-wing media, that was like, "Oh my gosh." But members of the right-wing media, if they had Jussie Smollett's number, they were calling him saying, "Come on the show."
Right.
So.
Yeah, look, I interviewed the 2 Nigerian brothers who were, involved in that little fiasco, and they said it was all BS, and they said how it all came together.
But go back and look at the reporting that I did.
No,
because if you go back, I'm like,
look.
Did you look at the reporting?
I did not.
I'm like, Jussie, I'm just,
Look,
and he was mad at me, and his some of the other actors on the show were mad at me because they thought like I had turned against Jussie, but I'm like, no, I didn't turn against him. Let me explain to you what happened. This story is unbelievable.
Look, early on, he was having a hell of a run with it. I remember he was on stage. He called himself the gay Tupac. Remember that?
I don't know about all that.
No, he did it. There's a video. There's a video of it.
Yeah,
he goes, I fought back. Yeah. I'm the gay Tupac. But then, let me just tell you this. But then when the video started coming out and they showed the police showing up to his house and he still had the noose around his neck in his apartment, I said, okay, that's it. I'm done. This is all BS. There's no if you were attacked and someone tried to put a noose around your neck, you would just keep it on? You just rock around with it like a chain?
Look, I don't want to I don't want to disparage Jussie Smollett, but let me just say that narrative about I was on his side and that I was trying to cover it, that's all bullshit. And you know who didn't believe Jussie the most?
Who?
Gay black men.
Okay.
They were like, Jussie,
you're making us look bad. Yeah. Well, because it undermined the actual, homophobia and violence.
Because they have to deal with hate crimes and that sort of thing.
So forth.
And they were mad, but no one. I mean, I could call friends now, and they're like, look, we didn't believe him, and I didn't. I'm sorry, but I hate that that's out there because people capitalize on that and they think it's like some reason that I had issues with my job, and never did. My people were like, "Did you get the interview? Can you get the interview? Are you going to get him on the show?" I'm like, "I've been texting him, trying to get him. So far, he's not coming on the show."
Yeah,
but yeah.